Party people in the place to be, live from 58 Dream Street. We're James and with Games. Hello everybody, happy Sunday. Lovely day here in my neck of the woods. We're in that sweet spot where the sun has come back and it's nice and it's warm again, but the whole place hasn't caught on fire yet. Cedric, hello. Yes, the figurative midnight hour, or the, what's the right way to say it? In the narrative, the midnight hour is quite close at hand. Isn't quite the midnight hour on the clock. All right, here we go. Firing up without any further ado, Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness, which you could insert a number 4 into the title of. This is the 4th title in this series. But they did that thing where that's just not how they presented it. They just called it Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness. For whatever reason, it's still the 4th game. It's like how it's like that which one is it? I think it's the Pretty Tony album, where it just says Ghostface on the front, but he didn't change his name from Ghostface Killer to Ghostface. It's just some weird thing they did for that one. Okay, here we are. Oh goodness, I haven't done anything to adjust the levels here. I should probably turn the game down a little. I'm gonna guess where the volume should be, and as we go, please do let me know if it could go up or down. Okay, so as quick of a recap as I can manage, or as thorough and as quick as a recap as I can manage of our first day in Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see why that happened, because I did not turn the volume down from when it was the starting soon music, which I do not compete with my own voice. But yeah, so in Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness, we pick up with the hero right from the end of Quest for Glory 3, Wages of War, where you recall at the very end of Quest for Glory 3, the hero just started dancing all crazy, which was surely a sign of dark magic, as Rakesh observed. You know, the hero is normally a very good and restrained, tasteful dancer. And so then we pick up here, and it turns out all that dancing was leading into a teleportation deal, where the hero wakes up in a scary cave, shorn of all of his stuff. And finding his way out of that cave, he finds himself in a European backwater, and he stumbles around a bit, and he finds the village of Mordavia. Before that, he found a young woman who I recalled meeting her after ending last time. She was like, I am going ahead to village. But I didn't see her in the village. So what's up with that? Will we see her again? Probably. But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, so a seasoned hero now. The hero arrived, and realizing a bunch of bad stuff is happening in this Mordavia place, he didn't wait around for the plot to get started. I just started digging into things, which has resulted in me knowing that there's some kind of bad ritual or series of rituals going on related to a scary old monastery in Mordavia. And also, there's the Castle Borgov of the former boyars of the region, long abandoned. Well, I broke into the grave to the family mausoleum, or the crypt, of the former boyars, the Borgov family, and from there found a secret passage into their castle. And then later discovered this is a one-way deal. We can't just go home. You can't go back out through the grave. It's blocked. Maybe there's like a switch within the grave to fix that, but if there is, I didn't find it yet. So I'm back in the castle, uninvited, dun dun dun, and we're going to see if I can find my way out. And if it turns out I can't, then we just have to fall backwards to previous saves. But let's find out together, team. Here we go. Alright. At least in terms of colored bars on the mixer, this looks like a good audio mix. But do let me know. Here we are. Okay. 100. Okay, let me think. Where this is? Okay, this is the bookshelf I came in through. I can reopen the bookshelf like this, but then I'm just back in the crypt, and I haven't figured out a way out. My gut, my brain just said to me, you can tell that I'm playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom in my spare time. Just ascend. But that's not a thing you can do in this game. So let's explore. So far, I haven't found anybody in the Boyar's castle, in Castle Borgov, and frankly, that's been good. But let's find out what happens. Listen to the door.
You can hear a distant creaks and groans, and the beating of your own heart.
Thank you, Mr. Davies. Let's take a look through the keyhole.
You don't see any sign of life or movement beyond the door.
Excellent. I'm cognizant of the fact that it would be entirely within Laurie Cole's use of language for the game to say you see no sign of life and then you open the door and a vampire gets you. But let's find out. Ooh. Oh, good. A scary tower.
Torch sconces line the stairway. The castle goons must spend half their time keeping them lit, and you can just imagine the energy bill.
I'll have to look at something else now.
You are on a long, winding stairway. Torches line the walls.
The
door at the top leads to the castle's great hall.
I hope your Sunday is treating you well. Mine has been very nice. Okay, well... Wait, can I take a torch off the wall? I can see that being helpful.
It really is lit. The flame singes your hand, which you quickly withdraw.
Hero. I feel like the hero ought to be... Hold on, let's review here. The hero's intelligence is rated at 236. But when he sees a torch sconce on the wall, he's like, that might be helpful. He takes it by the top and burns his hand. So, alright, whatever. Let's go up and see. Are there bats in the belfry? Is this like a King's Quest stairwell? I'm gonna die like 7 times trying to get up it? No. No, I didn't expect it. Let's do some, all our things that we do at doors.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
Great.
Peering through the keyhole, you see no threatening activity on the other side of the door.
Go through, get instantly killed. It was a promise, not a threat. It's one of those things where, like, okay, sure, it adds a different kind of gameplay challenge for you to try to interpret visually, where you can stand on the staircase as you go up. But then when you think about it in the context, beyond the fact that also this is just a really actually annoying gameplay mechanism, but also when you stop and think about it, you're like, so you're telling me that King Graham can't just like intuitively figure out a staircase?
The door's rusty hinges give out a squeak as you open it.
Okay. Well, gotta remember, in fact I'll do it right now with my oil can.
You carefully oil the door hinges.
Okay, a sitting room.
The family crest of the Borgovs holds a commanding position over the room.
Can't really tell what their crest is from there.
This statue depicts a man holding a long staff. Either the boyars had mages among them, or he liked to walk in mountains.
Why not both? As we learned in the first quest for glory.
Despite the size of the great hall, only 2 chairs sit at one small table.
I was thinking of... I'm not even sure which King's Quest it is in, where you have to try to get up a stairwell. Although also, you're reminding me now that Treehouse of Horror episode, where Dracula has one of those spiral staircases. Dracula in the form of Mr. Burns. That can, when the trap hits, all the stairs fold down. It's a slide.
An ornate rug decorates the floor and helps keep some of the warmth from the fireplace in the room. It's a 5-candle power candelabra.
Like candle power is a rating.
That looks like a bust of Boyer von Beethoven, the famous warrior composer.
Okay.
The statue of a young warrior helps to guard the stairs.
Is this one also young?
This statue depicts a warrior. His visage is proud and noble.
Oh, that's a shame to hear. Aside from the one that doesn't really, aside from the collapse of all classic PC gaming series in the 3D era version of King's Quest. Can I sit down at this table and summon a scary guest?
You can't afford to take this sitting down.
Not enough time. Is this the door? British! Hello! Yes, I'm familiar with lumens. I suppose if you're just dealing with candelabras, candle power is a really easy
Just
thing
an
to
empty
measure.
closet.
Empty closet? Kind of seems like there's a place to go to the left here, so I'll try that before I try going to what might be a Borgovian Boyard bedroom. Oh man, gotta think about oiling these hinges. Because, like,
You carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges. There are a number of large barrels piled in a disorderly heap. Some smaller containers line the shelf. None of them look in very good condition.
is this a secret door?
There are a number of large barrels.
Probably not, but maybe. This is the door.
The castle doors are sturdily constructed of oak with brass bindings.
Can I get a
There are a
different
number of-
description? No, I thought maybe this top thing's different.
You're in a storage room
Nah.
just to the west of the Great Hall. Stairs lead up to each of the doors, and barrels lie heaped against the north wall.
Okay. I'll update the uninvited save as I continue to wander here. Perhaps I'll come to regret that, but we're living on the edge.
Barrels are all empty. There's nothing useful you can do with them.
Okay, so you're telling me I
The
can't move them aside and find a secret door.
barrels...
Okay. Can I get at these containers? It certainly looks like I'm going to try.
Most of the containers are broken and useless. You find one intact empty flask and put it in your pack.
Oh ho ho. Always a sure sign that you're eventually going to find a liquid that you want to bring with you. But for now, I'm more concerned with my not empty flask of oil.
You carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges.
In advance.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans and the beating of your own heart.
Gotta slow down my breathing here, try to calm down. So my heart is drowning out the sounds of danger on the other side. Alright, through the
You
keyhole.
don't see any sign of life or movement beyond the door.
There's a mummy standing perfectly still. Like, come on. This feels like a setup. Alright, let's look. Oh, good, we found a bedroom. What an odd place for a bedroom. There's the Great Hall, with a stairway that looks like it should be going up to sleeping quarters areas. And then off to the side, there's a storage room. And if you pass through the storage room, you're in the bedroom. Ah, it's a Gothic castle.
This bedroom in the western end of the castle seems not to have been used in some time, judging from the layer of dust on the bedclothes. The window on the west wall has been mortared over and admits no light.
Hate to be in a scary old castle where they've modified the bedroom to not admit light.
It's a heavy brass candelabra.
What about this one?
It's a heavy brass candelabra.
Consistency of
A
decor.
worn, threadbare rug adds a touch of color to the plain wooden floor.
Does it though? Paladin actually looks pretty consistent going from the wood to the carpet.
It's a massive iron-bound chest. After several minutes spent analyzing this piece of furniture, you reach the brilliant conclusion that it must be the bed.
Alright, very funny, Mr. Rhys Davies. But I think the implication that I was trying to find out if there's anything unusual about the bed was pretty clear. I don't know. Talk to me like I'm an idiot. Is it locked? Oh! Oh, fighting! Okay. Ah. Okay. Okay, so. You've just had a close encounter with the spirits of the ghost kind. When all is said, however, your life's done. Post-ghosty. Alright. Dead. Let's see how far along is this automatic save. Okay. Okay, so... I don't feel like I'm ready for that fight. But hold on. What if I turn the cycles down 10%? See if I can get a feel for the fight somehow. Actually, hold on. Can we bypass the fight entirely? Probably not.
Kablooey! You got the chest open but set off an explosion in the process. The chest was trapped.
Oh, and then I'm just frozen in horror watching while this thing comes to kill me? Can't pepper it with spells? Alright. Let's find out. Is the battle any saner here this way? No. Okay. We're gonna put a pin in that. We know there's a chest here. We know it's trapped. So things were not gonna go well for me in the other version where I physically opened that anyway. Just go through. Alright. There's the chest. It is guarded by a wraith. Been dealing with some of that over in Pool of Radiance. And, hail Stimpinski. How are you today? Okay. Well, we might as well go up there. Oil some more hinges and see if we can get anywhere.
A few drops of oil run down the door and drip on your shiny shoes. However, you've also managed to oil the door hinges.
Ooh, was this in Splittermond? Or Dark Eye? Ah, okay. So the trap did not involve your giant spider spinning some webs for you. Huh.
You feel a strong sense of sorrow and loss.
Oh dear. Well, here comes a ghost. Let's find out. Sometimes it really do be that way. See if can I make things easier for myself? Or are you talking about I'm too busy to cast a spell? and then it lets me cast.
You
Okay.
shiver as the ghost passes through you. A cold chill remains behind.
Well, now I feel bad if that was not an evil ghost in the first place. In fact, now I wish I tried to talk to it. Let's go back. Probably I can't talk to it, but it's worth a shot. At any rate, I won't pummel it with magic spells. When the opposite happens, when a GM or DM has gone all out to like set up a hard fight, and then like at the very start they start botching all their rolls and you're just killing them, and it all falls apart. Yeah, the quest for glory is going. I mean, I haven't accomplished too much yet. Just continuing to explore the Boyar Castle in hopes of finding my way out. I had a brief moment where I was like, I just like, because if I go back into the grave, the door, the crypt won't open back up for me. The grave that had the secret passage to here. I had a brief moment where my brain told me just use the ascend rune or the ascend ability, because in Tears of the Kingdom, one of the awesome powers they came up with for Link is the ability to shoot up into a ceiling above himself and then kind of swim through solid matter until he comes out the top. Awesome navigational ability that is not applicable here.
A few drops of oil run down the door and drip on your shiny shoes.
Yes, I know I have. Thank you.
A few.
Yes, but can I open the door?
A few.
Yeah, there's a real serious problem as far as trying to apply Link's exploration style. 102. I can climb, but not enough. Not nearly enough. Why do I have any climbing skill? How did that happen? Did I do it at the start of Quest for Glory 3?
You feel a strong sense of sorrow and loss.
Probably because of this sad ghost. Let's find... How magical is this ghost? This is detect magic, right?
You're too busy to cast a spell right now.
Am I? Okay, well...
No one seems to be listening. The ghost's only response is a low moan that sends a chill of terror up your spine.
Okay. I don't think I have any items that would be significant. Avocado and garlic sandwiches. I mean, that's pretty close to being a guacamole sandwich, which I would probably put something else on the sandwich, but it's not nothing. Yeah, I don't see that I have any special item that would be of significance to a Borgov poltergeist. So...
You shiver as the ghost passes through you. A cold chill remains behind.
Terrifying. Tears of the Kingdom logic, I would be dealing with that wraith in the bedroom by putting as many explosive barrels as I could all around the bed. Then open up the treasure. The trap explosion blows up the barrels. Wraith immediately catches on fire. Then just run in with my strongest weapon and just hack on it to clear it up. Oh, hello again.
You shiver as the...
Okay, so you've... Okay. Let's oil these hinges.
You carefully oil the door hinges to prevent revealing squeaks.
That was exactly what I was hoping to prevent. Let's give this a good listen.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
Not even a low moaning.
Peering through the keyhole.
Okay. At some point, obviously, there has to be something on the other side of the door. It would be wild if they built this whole door menu system in. She's like, no, every single door is safe. Not a strong one. I'm interested to hear more about it when it comes out, and maybe it'll be good, which would be cool. But I haven't been following it closely because it seems like it's been going on for a long time.
The sprawling castle watches over a lush and prosperous
How about you?
landscape.
Or anybody in the chat. Fantasy piece.
It's a long, low cabinet.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Rhys Davies.
This room, up from the Great Hall, is relatively empty, unless you count the low cabinet and the massive iron safe.
Or the large painting on the wall, or the big rug.
It's a massive iron safe.
I thought it was a safe. Okay. Let's go stand on the rug. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta try more contemporary RPGs, but I don't know. Let's call this one Upstairs. Just in case it turns out I can never go back down for some reason. Okay, we'll do the cabinet first.
Take 6 kopecks that you find loose in the cabinet.
Ching! Real hero stuff here. Searching the ancient castle.
The cabinet is empty.
Every
save
penny.
for a thick coating of dust.
Sweep all that dust in your money bag. That's boyar dust, baby. That might be valuable.
The cabinet is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
Well, at least I got those kopecks. Let's stand healthily away from the safe and see if the old open sesame trick works. Of course it does. That's okay. My real concern is not whether it's an exploding chest, but whether it's a summons a wraith that instantly kills me chest. It's not. 15 crowns from a potion safe. I guess they came up with this description late in the game. Safe also contains several papers and small clothes, but they have deteriorated with age and are worthless, so you leave them. Okay. So, kopecks can just go in the low cabinet. Crowns, we better keep it a safe. Oh, thank goodness. Lingering cold, terrible experience. I have not been ill, except for like a bad vaccine reaction and heat stroke that I gave myself one day, but like no like infectious disease since the pandemic started. And I just know it doesn't matter if it's a cold, doesn't matter what it is. If I ever get sick again in my life, which I surely will, I'm not going to meet the moment with stoicism and grace. I'm gonna be a real whiny baby about it. If anyone does burst out and are like, wait a minute, has something happened to my voice narration? I think I just fixed it. Let's confirm. No. Okay. Well, we just saved. We gotta restart. That's a not at all game-breaking bug. But I'm not doing this. I'm not depriving myself of yeah. If they went all in with that, like if just sometimes when you're playing you just heard John Rhys Davies like exaggeratedly yawn and like something like that. And then like a minute or two later, you heard, That would be funny. I don't think that's what was happening. Oh, we gotta watch this cool mountain animation. It's not skipping it. Oh, it's short. I need to skip it. Yeah, that's a real Wolf-Allen moon. When the moon is so large, like several times larger than the castle it's rising behind.
The sprawling castle watches over.
That's what I want to hear. All right, excellent. We've oiled the hinges.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans, and the beating of your own heart.
Those distant creaks and groans sound a little ominous.
You don't see any sign of.
Okay, here we go. Open her up.
Door hinges squeak in protest as you
Okay, so I didn't save after oiling. Oh, good, more stairs. So I'm getting my cardio in. I have a ready-made excuse if anybody does burst out. Comrade, what are you doing in Borgov family castle? I'm the hinge guy. I'm the housekeeper. We got a real squeaky hinge problem.
You're on a winding stairway in the northern part of the castle. Torches line the walls. There are 2 exits. Doors at the top, leading north, and bottom of the stairs.
They wanted to hit they wanted to really emphasize the northerly direction of this wing of the castle for some reason. I'll make a mental note. If I ever get a hint that it's something to do with things being northerly.
You carefully oil the door hinges to prevent revealing squeaks.
That's what I do. And I do it in a very economical fashion. You can't even see that doesn't even look like it's getting emptier.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
Maybe the problem is that I don't have a cup. Maybe I'd
Peering
start
through the
hearing
keyhole.
things. Okay. Looks like we're okay. Let's do it then. Yeah. Okay. Well, this looks a lot like the lower area of the castle.
These chairs were once very elegant. Now they're old and worn. You're in a chamber 2 stories up from the great hall. The northern door will take you back down.
Well, it's not getting us out of the Borgov castle.
Carefully
Making
oil the
slight-
doors,
we're making
slightly
some
rusty
money.
hinges.
And we're getting a sense of the geography.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans.
It would be quite a thing if it just took me so long to get out of here. I starved to death.
You don't see any sign of life
Well,
or
they
movement
had
beyond the
wasted
door.
all that energy hunching over to peer through keyholes. Also, how is the keyhole down that low? I think we're supposed to be picturing the hero standing a little bit further up. Dang. Oh, good. A long, scary hall.
A long hall runs north and south between 2 of the castle rooms.
Okay.
The oil sconce glimmers with light. This place must go through a lot of oil.
And of course, there's also the
A long
question
bench sits against one wall.
of who is filling the oil in the sconces. Let's go south first. No? Maybe this is the southern room being connected. Let's go north then. The only option.
Door hinges squeak in protest as you open the door.
I didn't even see a door. You know I would have oiled the door. Game.
Carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges.
Before I forget, it's just... Man, what a big castle. Imagine what it would be like if I knew why I came here.
carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges.
In a way, it's the townsfolk of Mordavia's fault for not being... Yeah.
The bookshelves are full of
Crack a book open, it
exciting
squeaks
works,
so
such
loud
as
it summons every ghost in the
250 years
castle.
of boyar ledgers and first-grade writing samples.
At least oil my finger so it'll be sticky, I can turn the pages easier.
The bookshelves are
Okay.
full of incredibly exciting work. Stained glass forms a wheel pattern high on the wall. The oil sconce
Okay.
There's something strange about the volumes of Tobin's Spirit Encyclopedia, subtitled To Pass Beyond the Veil, on these shelves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good. It's one of these. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and make a note to myself for the future. Bookshelf puzzle. Available letters A, E, I, M, O, T, U, and X. I haven't a clue. Or perhaps I have a clue and I've forgotten it. I suppose I'm not gonna... No, I'm resisting the get a hint urge. But I can't spell a voozle. And I can't think of anything else I want to spell right now. So, mental note, if I find something that seems relevant, I'll make use of it.
All you can hear,
Eh?
you don't see any movement through the keyhole, but you think you hear movement from the bottom of the stairs.
Stairs? Oh, yes.
You sense danger at the bottom of the stairwell. Maybe it has something to do with the two goons guarding the lower door.
Probably,
You
yeah.
hear voices at the bottom of the stairs.
What are they saying? If I wait a moment, will the conversation play out?
Boring. This is definitely boring. Hey, dungeons is always guarded, and we's the guards. But why guard a dungeon when there's no one in there? We got to guard something, don't we? Else we don't got the job. Well, it's still boring.
Okay. No, I oiled that door before I came through. And thank heavens. Okay. Okay.
The match is really something, ain't she?
She?
Yeah. I even likes the kid. Shame they keep her all the way on the other side of the castle.
Kid?
Yeah.
The other side being the south
It's
side?
the Annabees guy I can't stand. He looks at us like we was food or something. You got it. That guy gives me the creeps.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. Why? Why did he open it so hard? And yet they're not coming, so I guess it's okay. Oh, we're just being brazen now. Now that we know there's people here guarding a dungeon, kick every door. Kick them hard. Alright. So we know there's a kid. We know there's an Ataraxia. Adavis. But then there's also someone else, a boss, a woman. Could it be Baba Yaga? Are we getting the whole band back together? Will the demon from Quest for 3 Wages of War also make a show? Enough already. Hold on. I think I oiled this door, but...
Carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges.
We know we're not doing this for nothing now.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans and the beating of your own heart.
Great.
You don't see any...
Great. Excellent. Here we go. No.
The sprawling castle watches over a lush and prosperous landscape. It's a long... The castle doors are... You are in a chamber in the northern part of the castle. Stairs lead up to the western door and an empty platform. Despite its appearance, the platform is of no importance whatsoever.
Okay. But isn't that exactly what you would say if it secretly was important?
The cabinet is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
Alright. Come on. Could be some Copex in here
The cabinet
somewhere.
is empty.
What about in the middle?
Cabinet.
No. Well. Oh, wait. How about this one? No, nothing. Nothing. Okay. Well, let's oil the door. Last time we came through a sort of storeroom place like this and went up a little platform and went into a bedroom. First, let's tempt fate. How unimportant is this platform? Okay, unimportant enough that if I stand on it, nothing happens. What if I press on the bricks? No. Okay. It happened again. Did I offend Mr. Rhys Davies by skipping the repetitive bits of narration there? Okay. Let's see if we can do this with a soft reload instead of quitting the entire game. Or even just... Yeah, what if I just reload?
The sprawling...
Okay, great. Well, see, now doesn't this make you think there's actually a door there? Let's go back. I wish they'd chosen a sound effect that didn't make it seem...
You sense no magic in this area.
Okay. But what about just,
You can't open that.
Okay.
You can't...
No? Alright. I'll take your word for it. So here we've got a variation on the long, low cabinet.
It's a long, low cabinet. You see a tall storage cupboard.
Okay. It's modular. It's two different pieces.
The castle doors are... You don't notice anything special. A wall...
Oh, shit.
You don't notice anything
Okay. Can't find an overall room description. But let's toss the cupboards.
The cabinet is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
How's all the dust getting in there if the
Cabinet
cabinet's
is
just
empty,
been sitting
save
here
for a thick
closed?
coating of dust.
Seems like that could be a
Cabinet
thing.
is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
Bit weird since I think the reason I'm skipping it is
The cabinet is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
on account of it being incidental and repeated.
The cabinet is empty, save for a thick coating of dust.
I think the theory makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, keep on saving as we go. Touch and go for a moment there. Oil up some hinges. Will I run out of rations or oil first? Quite possibly rations, just because oil might not even be a limited thing. Okay. Let's try the north wall door first. We've lost him.
Carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges. Carefully oil the door's slightly rusty hinges.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here we got another one down. But could there be a kid or something here? I don't know.
You are on a winding stairway near the northeast corner of the castle. Torches line the walls.
I think
There are two exits.
before I go to a different
Doors at
floor,
the
I'll
top
try the other
and
door
bottom of the
first.
stairs.
Okay. It occurs to me we could also have a dynamic situation where sometimes the room is empty, kind of like a Maniac Mansion deal. Things move around.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans and the beating of your
But I guess
own
that'll be
heart.
terrifying the first time it happens, and then I'll have learned a valuable lesson.
You don't see any sign of life or movement beyond the door. You're getting tired.
Oh, good. Oh, and here we can go up. I guess I'll go down first. Can I grab a quick cat nap?
After some rest, you feel better.
There. Just grab a quick 30 minutes of shut-eye in the middle of the scary castle. Now I'm good for many more hours of tentative adventuring. Maybe. How am I doing for sandwiches here? Oh, I still have 3. Fantastic. Although really, all this effort to be quiet when I'm carrying around as much garlic and
You carefully
mashed garlic
oil
and
the door
avocado
hinges
sandwiches as I
to
am.
prevent revealing squeaks.
Anyone who doesn't have a cold should be effortlessly detecting my approach.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
So peering, you know what? Let's cut to the chase. I'll go back to peering when I hear something. Seems like a cute kid could use this bedroom.
This must be the Rose bedroom. You're somewhere near the northeastern corner of the castle. A worn, threadbare rug adds a touch of color to the plain wooden floor.
See now that rug is adding more than a touch of color. I'd go as far to call that a splash.
Several minutes spent analyzing this piece of furniture
All right.
to reach the brilliant conclusion that it must be the
Sir.
bed.
Whatever. Okay, fine. Condescend to me like I'm some joke. Anything
You
behind
don't
the picture?
find any safes, secret passages, or other interesting oddities behind the painting.
Well, what about under the rug?
There's nothing hidden under the rug.
Okay. What about under the bed?
This probably isn't at the top of your list of safe places to sleep.
No, but could I? Well, obviously I can. Okay. Okay. It also seems like I'm so high up in the castle, I'm kind of skeptical I'm about to stumble on the way out. And again, Tears of the Kingdom brain elsewhere. Just find a window, just jump out, hang glide back to Mordavia. But no. Alright. Well, maybe it's like an old single screen arcade game. You you get to the main floor by going up and up and up and up and up until you wrap around. I don't know, but...
You carefully oil the door hinges to prevent revealing squeaks. You hear heavy breathing beyond the door. It reminds you of a hibernating bear.
Alright, listening carefully pays off. What do I see?
Through the keyhole, you can see what appears to be a child's bedroom. A large and dangerous-looking, ape-like creature sits near the door.
Okay. Let's see. What if I just knock?
Politely knock on the door. Fortunately, there's no response.
Okay. The ape's not enraged by knocking, so maybe I can just go in. Probably not, though. Or maybe it's a friendly giant ape.
You sense that something is very wrong here, but not immediately dangerous. The creature does not seem to be openly hostile, just very protective
There you
of
go.
the child.
You have a
There is
little
a
bit of
feeling
faith in
coldness about
monsters.
the child that fills
And
you
every
with
now and
sorrow
then it pays off.
and a touch of fear.
Who is it, Toby? It's not polite to slam the door in strangers'
I don't know if it's the
faces, is it?
sense of coldness that most scares me about this child.
Then ask the stranger what he wants.
Ah, great question, Toby. Great question. First, if I could just say hello,
You say, hello.
Hujambo,
Hello? Do you live in the castle now, too?
kind of. Do you know where the front door is? So anyway, I'm a great hero.
You tell about yourself.
I don't like to talk about myself too much,
I've never
but
met a real hero before. Why'd you come here?
You start to tell what you're doing here.
Toby, it's not polite to interrupt. How many times do I have to tell you that?
yeah, come on, Tobes. Okay. I didn't wind up. I said last week I'll go look at a transcript to get those rituals that went flying by now that we're in real time with the narration. And then I realized, I'm recording this. So I just watched it. So I wrote down all the rituals, and one of the rituals. That's a good pun. That's a quality pun, Stimpinski. Placed in the stone of squids and revealed only by the light of a dead child's soul. This child seems dead. Why would I tell her about the innkeepers? I can't recall. Let's find out.
You tell her about the innkeepers.
Okay, yes, right.
I miss my mommy and my daddy. But I can never go home.
Is it the vampire thing?
Toby says this is my home now.
Okay. Well, I have some questions for you, little one. Starting, I have a variety of questions, but I do have one major one about the beast.
Toby's my best friend. We play games and tell stories, and I never had a real friend before.
Well, now you guys have a second friend.
Toby says I'm his best friend, too.
Oh, sweet. So I'm already on the third wheel. So, yeah. I noticed you're a child.
My name is Tanya, and this is
Tanya.
Toby.
Hello. I'm James. Hero of the North, Prince of Shapir.
What's your name?
So, your parents, the innkeepers?
My mommy and daddy don't like me anymore. I did something bad and now they don't want to see me ever again.
No.
Sometimes I miss my mommy and daddy. I know, Toby, you and Aunt Trina take good care of me.
Trina.
I wouldn't want to leave you ever. But I still miss my mommy.
Why do you think that your parents think you're a bad girl? Did they tell you that themselves?
Toby used to visit me at the inn. My mommy and daddy would not like it if they saw Toby. They wouldn't let me play with him, so I didn't tell them about him.
Okay.
One day, Toby brought me a beautiful doll. I never had a real doll before. I named her Vanna. But when my mommy saw Vanna, she got real mad. She tried to make me tell about Toby. My mommy and daddy yelled at me. They scared me. They took Vanna away, and they wouldn't let me see her ever again. I didn't want them to do that to Toby, so I ran away with him. Aunt Trina says my mommy and daddy won't like me now. She says they will be scared of me like they were scared of Vanna. I don't want my mommy and daddy scared of me. I will never go back again.
This is
I know, Toby.
This is compelling stuff.
You should go now. I don't want to talk about bad things.
Well, hold on. Could I ask you a little... What do you know about vampires? Hopefully she doesn't say, okay, I asked you to leave, Toby. And then Toby kills me or something. Find out.
That's a scary thing. That's how come we always used to have garlic all around at the inn.
Yeah, how do you feel about garlic these days?
Mommy and I used to braid the garlic and put it up all over the place to keep out the bad things. I don't like the smell of garlic.
Like,
I had to wear garlic around my neck all the time. Now I have a pretty necklace instead. See? Isn't it pretty?
The necklace
I
is
don't
on a
see
choker
it.
chain, completely covering the little girl's throat.
weird choice to not, draw that choker chain on her. I know enough of... I'm not the greatest pixel artist in the world by any means, but I know enough about pixel art to know that you could do that with, like, 2 colors. You could use the 2 colors that they've already used for the bows. Or for her lips, if you want it to stand out. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So yeah, you're from the inn. Is Vanna hidden somewhere in the inn? Seems like getting Vanna might be an
A long
important thing at
time
some point
ago,
here.
I used to live at the inn. But now I get to live here. I don't have to be afraid of the bad things all the time. Now I have Toby to protect me.
I hope that I don't have to kill Toby at any point. So, yeah, this castle. You know anything about how to get out? Or anything else useful about
This
it?
is where I live now. I have this whole room to myself and Toby. Sometimes I get to go to the hall with Aunt Trina and play with Cuddles.
Okay, good. I was like, when are we going to get to drill down on this aunt thing? But yeah, I'm actually more concerned. Cuddles. Is Cuddles incongruously horrifying?
Cuddles is Aunt Trina's pet hound. He's my friend,
Okay,
too.
just a hound. Just a hound. It's going to be like a Cerberus or something. I know that Cerberus is not a breed, but the name of a single 3-headed hound. But you get what I'm saying.
Aunt Trina says she will be my friend and take care of me. I like her. She gives me nice things. She sent Toby to me. She says I'll be her little girl forever and ever.
Yeah. That... She might be able to deliver on that promise. Not even just figuratively.
That's the place with the big fireplace and all the fancy statues. Sometimes I dance for Aunt Trina there. It's fun. Except when the dark man is there. I don't like him.
Ah, yes. So, I couldn't help but notice that you mentioned a dark man. Adibes, perhaps?
I don't like the dark man. I wish Aunt Trina never brought him here. Mean. I stick up my tongue at him all the time.
Is he saying that he thinks it's funny?
Toby doesn't like the dark man either. Toby says the dark man can't be trusted. You should stay away from him.
I'm certainly hoping to. Okay. Is this a cute little girl dance or a terrifying vampire dance that you do?
Aunt Trina says I dance very well. I like to dance, especially up in the air. That's really fun.
If we could drill down on that.
Sometimes Aunt Trina and I dance all over the room. We dance on top of the statues and everything. It's like flying around and around.
I'm not familiar with any vampire story except for... no, I can think of a couple actually now that I say that out loud. But I don't know that many vampire stories that use the trope like in The Simpsons... I said it earlier, Trios of Horror episode where Mr. Burns is Dracula, basically. He's specifically the Gary Oldman Dracula, where killing the head vampire cures the other vampires or something like that. But perhaps we can save? I don't know. Yeah, seriously. Like just a much bleaker version of the happy ending of Beetlejuice. Okay, well, this has been a delightful and yet disquieting conversation. Let's look around.
This drapery frames the bed.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Rhys Davies.
A chest of drawers probably holds clothes for a child.
Probably.
This clown is pretty funny looking. Reminds you of a gnome you once knew. The polka dot horse looks big enough for a child to ride.
Oh, good. She's got some toys.
It's a big, nasty-looking hairy monster, and it's looking right back at you with a very hungry expression.
Au contraire. I would argue that the monster has his back turned to me.
The carpet looks like a nice playing area for a child.
Okay, so she's,
The clock on the wall seems to have stopped.
heavy-handed, but okay.
You can't see much out of the window from where you're standing.
And probably I shouldn't walk across the room. So, how about I'll just say, Wait, hold on. I didn't pick up a doll and forget about it. No. But alright. Alright. Well, it's been really bittersweet to meet you, Tanya.
You say goodbye.
Bye. You should come back and talk sometime. And I'll tell Aunt Trina that I want to see you again.
You asked the child to keep your visit a secret.
Yeah.
You want to surprise her aunt.
Alright, good. Great minds.
Oh, good. I love surprises. Toby, you have to keep this secret too. No, a secret's a secret. Promise?
I don't know if I can trust Toby, but I feel like Tanya can. So, okay. Well. Yeah, one of the Mad Monk's rituals is placed in the Stone of Squids, revealed only by the light of a dead child's soul. We found a dead child.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
Technically undead. You could say being undead is being neither alive nor dead, or you could say... Oh yeah, jeez, that was, like Tanya's portrait is like It absolutely hits scary, and it gets vampire across very, very clearly. But it also feels... Did I go down here and for some reason it didn't work out? Yes, I think. Better just remind myself. But she also, like, you know, even with the, like, fire eyes and the heavy, like, serious vampire look, she still comes across, like, you know, you don't feel like, uh-oh, gotta, you know, stake the heart of this child, right? You want to help her. She seems
Peering
good.
through the keyhole.
Okay, nothing on the other side. Oh yeah, pink room. Of course. Well, let's take the fast way back up. They had some leftover curtains when they finished decorating the Rose bedroom. Okay, well that's the upstairs. Unless I want to try and fight my way in to the jail, to the dungeon, where there isn't anybody right now. I think for now, I'll head back down. So, I do gotta find my way out of this place. And maybe the way is just that there's a solution to the puzzle down below. There is a puzzle that I need to solve in the grave to get back out. I don't know. If only cut off my arm and put a Borgov arm on there, maybe that would unlock my ascension. Open the door.
You feel a strong sense of sorrow and loss.
Yep.
You shiver as the ghost passes through you. A cold chill remains behind.
Yeah. I don't see anything to do with this ghost yet. I think we gotta know some more. But I mean, we have a... If I can make it back to Mordavia, I've got important intel for... Oh, what's her name? Olga? Poor dear. Okay. So... Feels like the floor with the Great Hall should have the way out, but...
The main doors are securely locked and barred. You can't get out that way.
Right. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. Oh, right. I was thinking of the general store owner. Okay. I don't think this is going to work, but it's worth a shot. No. I can't see the doors, so I can't aim my spell at them. Alright, well... This kind of seems to augur for the find your way back out through the grave answer. Well, that's what I would have. I would have to pretend to be guilty of that to get away with the mixing people up and not learning their names. Anything to avoid acknowledging that you got a name wrong. I got really lucky. I've been subtly showing off because my summer class is smaller, without calling attention to it, demonstrating that I know everybody's name in the entire class. And it turned out I did have two of them mixed up, but just by pure luck, neither of them, I hadn't addressed either of them directly. Okay. This scary room. I don't have any stronger expectation of
You wouldn't fit.
overcoming the ghost. Oh, jeez. One too many avocado garlic sandwiches here. Alright. Well, then perhaps getting out of here is as simple as actually just finding a way back out through that crypts. Or maybe I missed something else on the bottom floor. We shall find out. Because I feel like at this point where favorite sushi? Vegetarian dragon roll. Which is like there's tempura in it, and then it's like the roll is also covered with avocado and then vegetables on top of it. It's a whole production. Okay. We're back here. This is my way back home, or maybe. Let's go back to the uninvited save. No, I'll do a new one. I already feel at home in Mordavia. It's because the townsfolk were so welcoming. I don't think there was anything in this direction, but I ought to verify that for myself by going all the way east for it.
Door hinges.
Oops. We've lost him. We've lost our boy.
The oil sconce glimmers with light.
And he's back.
This place must go through a lot of oil.
It must. I feel like I did oil this one, but I mean, maybe they're just getting squeaky in with time. You really
Kid.
could. If that's the. Oh, jeez.
All you can hear are distant creaks and groans and the beating of your own heart.
Okay.
You sense danger in the air, flapping on bat-like wings around you.
Huh. Aha. What is this battle music? It's not like a bad track, it's just, why is this... Oh no, did these bats poison me? Yes, they certainly did. I got a bad feeling with that. What about my Paladin healing magic?
Ah.
I can fight the poison. Let me try once more and see if I can overcome the bats without being poisoned. I'm not extraordinarily confident that I can. And also, let me look at the manual just quickly, just to remind myself, like, I know what the hotkeys are for the spells. At that level of specificity. Like, these keys are for spells. But what spells are which? Okay. Everything but B should cast a spell for me, but Z is Zap, which counterintuitively is not a spell that actually zaps your enemy. It powers up your sword. And technically, my sword should just automatically be powered because I'm a paladin. But I don't know.
Door hinges squeak in protest
Yeah,
as you
forgot
open
about
the door.
that, but it's okay.
sense danger in the air, flapping on bat-like wings.
Bat-like. Okay, good. Maybe I can get one of them at least. Nope. And I'm hit instantly. Okay. I'm gonna try this one more time to see if I could have been attacking right at the start or something. Or if I cast Calm before the fight, maybe buy myself a moment. Not sure how I feel about this new battle system. We'll see. I think this is one of those things where, like, if we had the fluidity of console action gameplay, or even, just tighter PC action gameplay, perhaps the battles would feel a bit better. Especially with the enemies that are, like, they're going up and down, so obviously I'm supposed to be doing, like, a duck jump kind of, and like, close ground on them, except it's not responsive enough with the jump that I can really, I feel like I can time it. Yeah.
Catch a brief glimpse of the elusive flash of wings on the other side of the door.
Well, there's the case where, in fact, listening does nothing. Because bats are quiet when they're not screaming.
You sense danger in the air, flapping on bat-like wings around you.
Let's see. Nope. And yeah. Battle starts with me taking a hit, so we're gonna see if I can survive being poisoned. It also might just turn out that there's nothing to be gained from fighting my way past those bats right now. But let's find out. Might as well explore thoroughly while we're here. Even if... Oh yeah, another way up is the back door of the castle not securely barred. Because that's like the main floor.
Carefully oil the door hinges to prevent revealing squeaks.
And I'm pretty hardy. Like, I have a high hit point maximum, so depending on how fast... I tried that, and it didn't cure the poison. But the fact that I can cure myself, or heal myself, if not cure myself with Paladin powers, certainly gives me hope for just, like, my longevity while poisoned.
You put your ear up against the door and listen. You don't hear anything.
But do I see even more bats?
Peering through the keyhole,
No.
you see no threatening activity on the other side of the door.
Great stuff. Let's go through. Well, we have another bookshelf just like the one that was a secret.
A large, round wooden table is starting to crack from age. There's a fine layer of dust on it. Nothing like a blazing fire to keep away the chill on those cold winter nights.
Gotta try this again. There was some flavor text that said an unconventional use of the calm spell is to calm flames.
A feeling of peace and tranquility fills the area.
Not sure if that was pure flavor text, but I'm not going to be able to see a raging fire without trying it.
Nothing like a blazing...
Okay.
A large, round wooden table.
Sorry.
The bookshelf sports a number of volumes of light reading. This must have been the boyar's personal reading room, since his crest decorates the top of the shelf.
Okay. Well... Is this a... I think it's just a...
Large, round...
I don't think that's anything, that little red lump, but what it was.
Try as you might, you can't get the table to spin. It's too heavy, and the legs are too solidly planted.
It's not trying to spin the table, but
The bookshelf shifts ever so slightly as you push against it. But you haven't found the trigger yet.
Okay.
You sense no magic in this area.
Oh, hey! Poison wears off in this game. Great stuff. I like that. And it made me more vital. Toughen it out with the poison. Could this find the trigger for me?
This is not a good place to practice your magic.
I'm not trying to practice.
This
I'm trying to use it affirmatively. Okay.
The bookshelf shifts ever so slightly.
Is it the crest that's the trigger?
You straighten out the crest. The bookshelf opens,
Yes.
revealing a secret passage.
Ooh. No, I actually wanted you to go through the door you just found. Oh, great. Very useful knowledge. Can I go back?
The stone walls and floor.
Hell yeah. Okay. I don't know how yet, but it's hard to imagine that not coming in handy. But at this point, I'm down to either like my two remaining thoughts, and my thoughts are not the full limit of possibility, of course, are I missed something where I can just go back the way I came in. Perhaps it's as simple as using the open spell and I just didn't think of it. Or the only other place I can think of having gone is to fight my way through those guards. Am I tough enough to get goons? Quite possibly. Or maybe I'm not. And maybe it doesn't matter. But also, dungeon could have its own secret passage out. So, try the crypt again. That one power nap is still serving the hero very well. Shut my eyes for 30 minutes. Now it's been probably a few hours. I'm not tired.
The books all seem to be glued in place.
Ah, right.
You
Honk,
reach up
honk.
to put the candle back. It's a fake candle. When you move it, a secret passage.
What is this? Put the
opens up
candle
behind
back. I don't remember picking up the candle. Oh, fixing the broken candle. Okay. So we're back in this scary place. Scary because, of the stench of the dead and all that. And then...
The door will not budge. It appears to be magically sealed. There is no obvious
if the open
way
spell
to open.
opens this and I just didn't even try, I feel kind of silly about that. But let's find out. No. Okay. Is it just doing the puzzle again? Oh. Can I open this relief? Well, hold on. Let's listen to it.
You hear nothing but the hollow echo of your own heartbeat. You have entered into a dark passageway. It twists and curves so that you quickly lose any sense of direction.
And then does it dump me out back outside?
You feel more than see a dark door at the end of the passage. You open it by touch.
Oh. Okay. Well, are the rest of these also secret doors?
You don't hear anything behind this relief.
Good stuff.
Inside the coffin is an old skeleton, All that remains of a long-dead knight.
Ah, yes, of course. Oh, wait, hold on. Is the Grim Reaper just kind of... He's just watching me, mocking me as I struggle to get out of here?
As you shake hands with the Grim Reaper statue, the door at the top of the stairs
Okay,
opens.
fine. There.
You quickly
Well,
make your
it
escape.
was much
from the
simpler than I
deadly
thought it
trap.
might be. But that was a worthwhile detour. We met Tanya. I got a good sense of some of the geography of the castle. I learned an important thing about...
You have entered an eerie, deserted graveyard. Strange moans wail through the trees, and mysterious lights seem to flicker and fade among the tombstones. 2 large crypts dominate the cemetery. You have a bad feeling about this place. There doesn't seem to be any immediate danger, but you suspect that death lies among the crypts and tombstones in this place.
Oh yes, that's something I often find myself suspecting when I'm in a scary graveyard. There's death in these graves. Got some fresh air going on though, so that's something. Okay. We're getting back on track. In just a minute, I'm going to run to the washroom. Brief intermission. Hang tight, gang. I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back. It's time to get going. What I also have to do, I think it'll be wise of me to map this forest. And so, I have set myself up. Yeah. Real death vibes here, specifically in the graveyard, and not in the haunted forest or the vampire castle. Those places, just seem like their oil budget must be high. That was the main thing I noticed there. Okay, so I'm just gonna say graveyard. Put it there. I can add more columns. I guessed I1 for the cell where it says graveyard. I don't know. Okay. And then for now, I'm going to set about finding my way back to town, perhaps, among other things, to buy more sandwiches. Wait a minute. It's definitely not 1, because I think I had to go south some. Hold on just a moment. How about instead I'll guess 4. It's a spreadsheet. I can adjust this as I need to. We've lost him. I'll keep this dumb name, even though obviously I was only going to be among the graves for a moment. Whoops. And then restore to get our boy back, Mr. Reese Davies.
You're in the northern part of the forest. Past the hills to the north, you can just make out a town slightly to the west, and a cemetery to the northeast from here.
Okay. So, I got to do a little bit of quick testing. Go back. It's possible to go south from here. Yes. Great. And I assume I can also go east. Instead of just writing forest, I'll write four-way forest. Oh, okay. Hold on. Bushes, for now, is what I'll call this screen. Something's afoot, and involves some great music.
The bush looks a little strange, almost as though it is sitting rather than growing in its place.
Is that how all these bushes
The
look?
bush looks a little strange,
Yes.
almost as though it is sitting rather than growing in its place.
What's the overall?
You don't notice anything special
No.
there?
What's the overall description?
You don't notice
No?
anything?
Okay. Alright. So... Is this a little fish? Corn. Oh, rats. There's a little fish. I was like, that will attract this little cat. I don't know. Hold on. Probably too easy to just talk. Wait.
You say hello, but there's only silence in return.
Okay. But it let me.
No one seems to be listening.
Okay. Well, let's try the go over and find out the solution. Does it still... Yes, it's still moving. God damn it. This dialogue bug is frustrating. Okay. Enough already. I want to experience this the right way.
You're in the north.
Okay, we are. Hopefully skipping doesn't exacerbate the problem as has been theorized. Because I made no effort to not skip. Because I picked too big of a paragraph to test to make sure it was back on. Okay. I have to guess this thing's name. Okay, fine. Tell me what I make of you? Reading, writing, riddling game. Can you tell me what's my name? Probably not. This seems too easy. Is your name Leshy?
Tell the creature it's called the Lishi.
the price of too much fame. Now you've gone and guessed my name.
It was ringing a bell. I don't know why, but it did ring a bell. And also, apparently they just didn't... Maybe they couldn't come to terms.
Leashy, look and see, in a bush or up a tree. Leashy, riddle rhyme. Can you solve them every time?
I don't know. But I'll try. Nice to meet you, I guess. Score up above 100. Very nice. Okay. Guess I don't need to go to any kind of menu just to go over here and say now. Now this looks like a three-way forest. North, south, north, east, west, forest. And also, is that a creepy severed hand? No. I mean, yes, but it's the pointer. I was like, hey, I see a severed hand. Maybe I can pick that up. Alright. Cool. Okay. So, presumably, there will be more Lishi riddles. I don't know if it counts as solving it, because it was kind of a guess. But for some reason, I recalled... Okay. Can I go south? Confirming that this is an east, west, and south forest? Yes. And this is clearly a four-way. Okay. Wait. Danger! Yeah. Never a more appropriate time to throw up the double biceps pose than when you've just successfully killed a rabbit.
There is absolutely nothing in the little rabbit's fanny pack. Well, maybe a pocket watch, but you don't need one of those.
Okay, so... South, east, west forest. Four-way forest down below. Alright. Soon enough, we'll be masters of the woods. Is there a west from here? Looks like there might be, but might not be. Not. Okay. I'll head north for now. Get back to town. Eventually. And this one, there's no way to go east. So this is a north, south, and west forest. And here's Mordavia entrance. That's what I can call this. Great. Okay. We're back. Let's go, boy. Let's go really have a great conversation with the innkeeper. I'm not going to bother mapping the town. Nice and peaceful. Irana style.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
You know, I'm impressed too. I'm impressed too. Yeah, same Cedric. That's exactly how I felt. I liked it, and yet I also like this. I like the experience of mapping, and I did like map the desert in Quest for Glory 2, which was mostly not necessary. But what are you gonna do?
What is it you want?
Seems much more necessary when it's just a forest type situation. Well, I got nothing to tell you. Yeah, what's up with this Dr. Cranium? He's certainly got a creepy lair, huh?
Dr. Cranium is an idiot and a madman. If you are wise, you will stay away from him.
I'm more intelligent than wise. How about an old man?
Nikolai
Oh, right.
is an
That's that
old
old
man and easily confused. His wife has been missing for years now.
His wife's named Trina?
He cannot face the fact
If so,
that
I have
she's
the answer.
gone.
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of monsters around.
It used to be that the only monsters around here were the occasional wyverns. Now there are many dangerous things in the valley. It is safe only within the town gates.
Yeah, like a wyvern or two, or wyvern as you prefer. Yeah, jeez, who cares, right?
Try not to make a nuisance of yourself.
I always try. I am going to go gossip to Nana Uga before I go with the real bad
Well
news.
now, what news do you have for me?
Oh, I got something juicy. You know the missing daughter of the innkeepers? Well, hold on. Hello, Nana Uga.
You haven't been eaten yet.
Oh.
We'll see how long you last traipsing about everywhere when you should be staying in this nice, safe town.
I see your argument there, but I'm an adventurer, Nana.
Tell Olga about what you've been doing in Mordavia.
Okay.
And be sure and keep me informed. I need to know everything that goes on around here. Someone's got to have a clue after all.
Ah, you're telling me. Alright. Hold on. Can I ask you about the innkeepers and their daughter? No. Okay. Well, it is always a pleasure now.
You take care. Don't want to see your funeral. You hate that walk to the cemetery.
Nah. Yes.
Yeah, good night, and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
I don't think he owns that saying, though. Alright. Well, we've put off this difficult task as long as we can. How long was I gone? Not that long. Just one terrifying night in the haunted castle. My man. Do I ever have news for you? Hey, no one's here. Perhaps that's for the best. We can have a more private conversation. Hello.
Ah, so you are back.
Yes. I don't have the option to tell him that I found his daughter. But can I ask him? What do you think? What do you think about the castle?
The castle was once that of the Boyar. Now we do not know who lives there.
Well, if you can call it living. I don't know. What about the other townspeople?
Besides the ones that come in here in the evening, there are quite a few others. You probably have met the shopkeeper,
Yep.
the gravedigger,
Yes.
and the burgomeister.
Yes.
And then there's Nikolai and that crazy Dr. Cranium.
I met Nikolai, and I've heard this Dr. Cranium is wacky. But okay, what about Nikolai?
He is a harmless old man who wanders around looking for his dead wife. Must be a shame to grow old all alone.
Well, hey, don't worry. That's never going to happen to your daughter. So yeah. Crazy Dr. Cranium.
Dr. Cranium came to Mordavia several years before the swamp closed off the pass. No one knows much about him, but no one trusts him. It's rumored that he conducts strange experiments.
Say with, I can't get avocados. Remember the monster trap thing? And it's like, you need an avocado to catch an antelope. I can't get avocados, but I have avocado sandwiches.
The shopkeeper knows everything that goes on in town. She also makes a delicious avocado and garlic sandwich, which she sells as rations.
What does it mean to sell something as a ration as opposed to just selling it as food?
The burgomeister keeps to himself and lives in his office.
I'd hardly say he keeps to himself. Every time I walk past his place, he bursts out the window to
The
insult me.
gravedigger is a strange one, though he is a good carver of tombstones and digger of graves.
Hold on. He's a stonemason who makes, like, some really fine stonework that I've seen in the cemetery. Yeah. I guess, that's why it's rations. Just because it's not going to go bad. That's true. That makes sense. But yeah, we're calling Igor the Gravedigger when he's actually a talented stoneworker. Heard any rumors about what might have happened?
I do not gossip.
Hey, that's great, man. That's great. How are you? Got a family?
I am well, as always.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, you did just remind me that I should stock up on sandwiches, so you keep it real, sir. Yuri.
Well now, what news do you have for me?
Oh, very little. I've only been gone like 5 minutes, Nana. But check it out. Good eatings.
So, you haven't been eaten yet.
No?
We'll see how long you last traipsing about everywhere when you should be staying in this nice, safe town.
This town will be so much safer, though, when I'm done being heroic and risking my life. Okay. Yeah. Well, get some rations. Some more rations. Bye. I'm well stocked with money. For now. So I'll buy several. That's probably enough for now. Alright. Be well.
You take care.
Yeah, I know. You have some very mordantly amusing things to say about my
Good night,
inevitable
and don't
death.
let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
Is it a common thing for people to be absolutely horrified at the point in their life where they learn that bedbugs exist? I remember being alarmed by that. Okay. Back in town. Alright. Let's go to the lair of the mad Dr. Cranium. Just to see if the mashed avocado in a sandwich is enough for this trick to work. Ah, buddy. Or Nikolai. I don't know. I guess I should talk to him.
You greet the old man.
We have met before, I think. I am Nikolai. Have you met my Anna? She is... Well, I do not know where she is. I am looking for her.
Oh man, that was some of the tensest moments in my long ago 10-year, almost decade career as a hospital housekeeper. Was when you got called to clean up a bedbugs room. You start by taping like every opening on your clothes shut and then like wrap yourself in isolation gear and the whole time you're like, if I make even the slightest mistake, it will ruin my entire life. And I'm not getting paid any kind of bonus for this horror.
Yes, well, I keep looking for Anna. Will you help me find her? She's missing.
Did Anna ever go by Trina?
Anna has been gone for a long time. I have been looking for her for so
Certainly just like
very
law of
long.
economy of characters
I do not
suggests
know
to me.
what has become of
Perhaps
my
this
Anna.
Aunt Trina is Anna. But I don't know, maybe not. Well, great talking to you. If I do see Anna,
You say goodbye.
If you see Anna, tell her I am looking for her.
I will. I will. Or Nikolai. Alright. Whoops. That was a cool little melody. Okay. The Antwerps aren't even free yet. Do I have to re-free them? Bonk bonk.
Oh no, you've been Antwerped. Fortunately, these are just baby Antwerps, so the attack wasn't fatal.
Thank heavens. Okay. Can I give a sandwich to this thing?
You bait the trap with avocado from your sandwich. Avocado was never high on your list of favorite foods anyway.
That's not true. That's a
Trap
damn lie.
starts working. You've caught an Antwerp. It's simply amazing.
Great. Is it in this bag? Is this...
You've caught an Antwerp.
Alright.
You've caught an...
Can I have it? Thank you. Your Antwerp has now been processed. No. Can I have it though?
You've...
No. So...
It does...
No. I just want to have the Antwerp.
You've caught an...
Or did I... Is it in my inventory? No? Wait. Can I take it in this bag?
You'll never catch an Antwerp that way.
I've already caught it though. I just want to have it.
You know, that did...
Okay. Can I put it in a flask? Probably
That
not.
didn't do anything. That didn't...
Pie pan. No. Okay. Oh, wait. Nope. More Antwerps.
Oh, no. You don't...
Okay. No need to identify another animal.
You've caught...
Alright, I've caught an Antwerp, can't do anything with it. Presently.
You don't hear anything behind this door.
No, this is a maze.
This is the Antwerp maze. Antwerps
Oh.
are naturally bouncy, so all you have to do is continually rotate the
Oh.
maze until the baby Antwerp bounces over to the key, then out through the exit.
Okay. So, first things first, I think I want to do this. Ah, twice. And then go... Ah, gotta time it right, I guess. Okay, so, I should probably pause and think about how I'm going to get this thing to the key. Gotta go ding, ding, get it down here, up, careful there, down, down, over, down, 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 ding, 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 ding. Okay, Okay. So... this is fun.
The Antwerp has found a hole in the space-time continuum and slipped back.
That
to
timing's
the
going to be
beginning
the
of
tricky
maze.
part. Ah. And then... yeah, okay. Oh, this is gonna be not fun.
You're not yet carrying anything that would be useful.
Not yet. But I'm gonna have to plug this hole probably. 'Cause I don't think I can.
The Ant...
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Is there another possibility? No. If I plug this hole, if I could plug one hole and it was this one, that would be my best path, I think. Wait. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, because I don't think there's a timing trick that can get me past that. Okay. Okay. I don't yet have anything that would be useful, but I did solve a puzzle that was within my grasp to solve last time. And it made it sound like I was getting puzzle points. Oh, that's probably an 8, so I probably did. I could have achieved my dream of 100 puzzle points the first time. If only I was a little bit smarter than it turns out I am. Okay, nonetheless, great stuff. Let's see how Igor is doing. Digging them graves. Maybe he's working on a tombstone. Ask him about his craft. Oh yes, quite obviously. In fact, that's what he was doing before too. Okay. It's my own fault for not paying enough attention to Igor. Oh, I can tell him something about Dr. Graney.
The headstone carver stares at you and then goes back to work.
Hey Igor, I figured out a puzzle in Dr. Cranium's place.
You tell the gravedigger that Dr. Cranium has asked Igor to bring him some fluid.
No, he hasn't.
Doctor asked Igor do strange things like dig up bodies. Igor bury bodies and Doctor make Igor dig them up again. Sometimes Doctor make Igor crazy.
Right. Feels like something went out of order there. But okay.
Applying for job as grave robber? Sorry, Igor not give crypt key to strangers.
Joke's on you, Igor. I know all about getting into crypts. What do you feel about Nikolai, the old man?
Nikolai walks around looking for Anna all the time. Anna missing many years now.
Well, that's sad stuff. This innkeeper, does he have a daughter?
Yuri, innkeeper. Bella, keep in. Little town humor there.
Poor, long-suffering Bella.
Dimitri Bitterman. Dimitri's father Bitterman too. Grandfather not Bitterman. Grandfather not marry grandmother.
Oh. Take my wife, please. But no, we don't do that kind of, nah, sorry. I'm a very honorable hero, Igor, so I don't generalize about women like that?
Olga into healthy food. Olga eat plenty fruit and berries. Olga nuts. You are what you eat.
Ah, what do you eat, Igor?
Business is dead. Little graveyard humor there.
I get it. Heard any good rumors?
Igor not hear rumors. Igor not know mad monk start monastery. Igor not know bad things get people who try monastery door. Igor wonder if you will verify this rumor.
As long as you blast the squid emblem with enough magic, turns out fine. Well, anyway, it was great talking to you. Even when I was saying things I didn't quite understand, I was lying for no reason I could
He looks
figure.
at you and then goes back to work.
So this Dr. Cranium. My honor didn't go down, unless it's been higher than that. I didn't remember. Okay. Should I head into the Adventurers Guild a minute? And I could do some training.
There's only a certain amount of punishment your body can stand on any given day. Enough pain, enough gain for now. Try again tomorrow.
Excellent. Working hard. Haven't even started putting weights in, so I'm not working that hard. But stronger. Excellent. Signed the book. Is this a sword that I can take?
Case looks totally solid, as if it was constructed around the sword. A plaque reads, "Break glass in emergency only."
Well, I shouldn't break the glass. Do I have a sword? I just have a dagger, even though... No, I have a sword. Okay. I'm gonna throw down a save. Can I get around the dishonor of violating the only in case of emergency if I just don't break the glass? If I magically open it?
This is not a... This...
I'm not practicing, though. Okay, what about these ones?
The painting doesn't look particularly valuable, and there's nothing behind it.
Okay. Alright. Well, we came back through, spent some time in the Adventurers Guild, like good adventurers, worked out a little, pumped a little iron. I probably won't go back into the terrifying monastery just yet. But okay, we have a mad monk afoot. Makes sense. Scary monastery. There's a mad monk. There's some rituals, possibly, assuming I'm reading in the right order, trying to summon a Voozle. Which is an appropriately, still kind of sounds like an ancient eldritch demon. Also sounds kind of silly. Perfect fit for Quest for Glory. What time is it? Oh, it's early yet. I think what's most warranted right now is to do a little wandering. See what we can find out there. Okay. Just need to adjust some windows here so I can... Okay, perfect. Can't go east from here. West is going back the way I've been. And I should, explore more there at some point, but... kind of want to go places I've never been. Let's see what happens if I just set off to the south. Anything notable here?
You are somewhere in the middle of the forest. You can barely discern the traces of an old road leading north and south.
Four-way forest. Keep following this old road. Perhaps it leads somewhere. Perhaps it just leads to the no, the bogged down swamp that's stopping people from getting out of here is probably the swamp I crawled
You are
out of.
somewhere in the middle of the forest. You can barely discern the traces of an old road leading north and west. Wildflowers bloom with the autumn weather.
This looks like a north-west forest to me. Might as well confirm that I can't go east. I cannot. Okay. Will we meet something even scarier than the vampire bunnies? Haha. That, did you type that and forget to hit enter back when we were talking about bedbugs?
The ground bears a rich carpet of fallen leaves as the trees prepare for winter's annual assault.
This kind of looks like it will lead further south. Yep. Okay. Now, timing is everything, and sometimes you gotta let a pun marinate a bit before you unleash it. Just gonna keep going south as long as I can now. See if I can find the southern bound. Oh. Who wants it? Okay. Certainly scarier than a rabbit, I guess. Hopefully. Can soften them up a little. Oh, right, of course, this thing. This might actually be the enemy, huh? Your mistake here, pal, was coming close to me. You had the plan before. Yeah, like this. I can't cast a spell. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm kind of dependent on the wyvern coming to me, but... I hit up for that, but there's a real... Okay. He's figured me out. Escape. Escape? Yep. Okay. No, don't actually escape though. Blast him. Nope. Okay. Yeah, seriously. This guy knows how to use his... Okay. To cast spells, you just gotta hold the button. Haha! Now, I'm using your own techniques against you. I'm deeply, deeply poisoned, but we got a spell for that.
You feel much better now.
I do. Much sleepier, because it costs stamina to cast Paladin spells, but...
The wyvern has no place to carry treasure. This is one reason why dragon hunting is far more popular.
Lousy wyverns. Okay.
You are in the southwestern corner of the forest. Dank mists rise from a dismal swamp to the south and west. The path to the dark cave lies to the southeast.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's telling me that I cannot go to the east. But let me see. Yeah, okay. And so, I'm just going to drag north, west, south forest indicator. Okay. Well. What someone needs is to introduce the wyvern to the idea of using its hooked under tail to carry a little basket full of its treasures. The tricky part is making the case that it's worth doing this so that if they're killed, the person who killed them can enjoy their treasure. Ah, yes. Swamp hands. I don't know. Feels like there would be something to do with these
The
swamp
decayed
hands.
remains of a human arm claw at you as if to drag you down to share its doom.
That's scary shit. Okay. And so, just to confirm, eastward is back towards the cave that I escaped from. Yep. What to call this? Towards cave, squid totem. I think that captures the important stuff here. Okay, don't need to map my way back to the cave from here right now. We want to be looking at exciting new stuff. See, I was about to say it's a slow acting poison and then the health bar ticked down. Okay, what about the swamp to the west? Extremely abrupt switch from idyllic forest to bleak, terrifying swamp. More swamp hands. Okay, so, but there's actually also a body here.
You are surrounded by the mist and miasma of a swamp which stretches endlessly before you.
Endlessly?
Here lie the decayed remains of someone who didn't make it across the swamp.
Well, you know what we do? Let me just check that. Is it dishonorable to steal from the bodies of the dead in the swamp? We'll find out. 200. In Pool of Radiance, I gotta go back to that graveyard. I did that thing again where I created a moral test for myself that was not there.
You
I gotta
pick
go
up a
rob
single
that.
slimy bone.
Gross. Is it considered bad to steal the bones of the dead? No. Oh! Excellent! What had been the delay? You designed that a long time ago. Wait, so, hold on. North-east swamp, hand and corpse. Good stuff. Onwards. Ah, that'll do it. Hey, we're back in the forest. Okay, so there's not actually a lot of swamp to explore. It's just kind of there. North, east, and south. Yeah. Ultimately, you know, you need everyone to be there to play the game. Okay. Hello, bird. Anything notable about this bird?
The hungry hunting hawk alertly searches for signs of game not already claimed by the forest monsters.
Oh, hey, Hawk, if you eat wyvern, I did leave one for you.
You are in the western part of the forest.
Yeah, fair enough. This looks like a east, west, south forest. Let's find out more about the western part of the forest. If we can. We can. Ooh.
You're in the far western part of the forest. A lovely lake stretches out to the south and southwest of here.
So, if you're trying to keep track of the geography here, there's an endless swamp, but one screen over is a lovely lake. East, south, forest. Well, let's see what's so lovely about this lake. Oh, the poison has burned out, cleared of the poison. I hadn't even totally grokked that there's no herbalist in the town.
You have a strange, disquieting feeling along with a sense of sorrow, longing, and unfulfilled desires as you're near the lake. The briny lake seems to draw you towards it.
I was gonna say, this seems like the kind of lake that has a lady.
Could you help me? This water is so cold and I need someone to help warm me.
This lady of the lake is torn. She, on the one hand, she wants to seduce you into the lake. On the other hand, this is a family game. She's not doing everything she could here to maximize the cheap enticement. Okay, pause for a moment. Lake with lady. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and not go in the lake with the lady I can only see from the waist up, who emerged from the lake.
This is one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. She has lovely, long, golden green hair, although your eyesight tends to focus a bit lower than that.
Excuse me, Mr. Rhys Davies. I'll have you know that I have
It is
200
so
points of
cold here
honor,
in the
sir.
lake. Please, come and hold me and help me to be warm again.
Ma'am, let's have a conversation about... Can we have a little talk here? Hello, lake lady. Why don't you come out of the lake?
Why don't you come to my arms so that I can give you a real greeting?
Well, I mostly just don't like being drowned by lake monsters.
Surely a hero like you will help someone like me. Please, take my hand.
Laying it on a bit thick. Like, personally, I've never been a lady of the lake, but I think I would, like, maybe like every 3 back and forths in the conversation, slip in the, want to get in the lake with me? When you're just hammering it like this, it's like, it's heavy-handed. What's your name, dear?
I am the Rusalka. Please, take my hand and help me.
Ah, you're the Rusalka. So, hold on. In Slavic folklore, the Rusalka is a typically feminine entity, often malicious towards mankind and frequently associated with water. Yeah, how about that? No, my dear, I will not be, Nice lake, though. Is it that cold?
If you take my hand, I'll be happy to show you what the lake is like.
What if you came out and took my hand? I could show you the forest. Are you afraid I'm going to bury you in the nettles?
If you take my arms, I'll be happy to talk to you about anything you'd like.
No, I'm sorry, no. You're not my type. Nothing personal, you're a lovely woman. I like ladies who are not going to drag me under the surface of the lake and drown me.
You ask what a nice girl like her is doing in a place like this.
It's so nice here in the water.
All
Why
right.
don't you
Okay.
join me?
For all the obvious reasons, mostly. Well, you take care, and I'll see if I can figure out something about lifting
Please,
a curse on you.
don't leave me here so alone and cold. I need
If
you.
I can see if Olga sells waterproof camping blankets. You know, maybe we could address your coldness. But at any rate, I'm going to leave this terrifying place. Okay. Okay. We're finding stuff. So we go east from here. Then, oops, I typed down the nature of this forest incorrectly, corrupting my map. This is an east, west, south forest. There we go. Okay. Well, there's one part of the western forest. How am I doing for time? Okay. Definitely don't feel like I want to be in the woods at night if I can help it, so. Hey, hawk. Will there be something with that hawk? There could be. I don't know. Well, let's jaunt off to the west. Actually, you know what? Let's just follow this all the way north. See what I find from there. Uh-oh. I'm slightly disoriented. Oh no. Okay, if I go west from here. Is this a mapping error? Or just me losing track of where I was? This is an east-north forest. What have I done? Foray. My Paladin danger sense is tingling. Okay. No, I don't want to kill another wyvern right now. In fact, perhaps I will run. Okay. I think I know where I am now, at least. North. Here gets me to a... Okay, I've escaped him, but I'm also a little confused. Okay, here's a four-way. And there's the town, which means, okay, where am I right now? Okay. Okay, well, let's save. Not sure how I got confused there. But I did. But I found my way to somewhere. Hopefully it was just a my brain problem and not the spreadsheet map problem. Okay. I'm going to guess I can't go north, but let me just verify I can't go north from here. Yeah. Okay. So, here we have a east, west, south forest. Let's find the western bound. If the lake is also the westernmost point, then I won't have far to go.
The ground bears a rich carpet of fallen leaves as the trees prepare for winter's annual assault. You're in the northwest corner of the forest. To the north you can see the castle gate and the end of the road. While the road is now badly overgrown, you can tell that it once led to the east as well.
Okay. Northwest and south. Let's go and look at the castle gate. What's this castle like from the outside? Hey, there's a gatekeeper.
A heavy gate blocks the way to the winding road. Far in the distance, you can see a majestic castle.
Seems way more majestic from the outside.
Welcome to Mordavia. It's nice to have some fresh blood around here. We so seldom see strangers.
Yeah, I wish you hadn't hit blood like that in that sentence. But hello.
It is so difficult to get past the swamp which blocks the pass to and from the valley. We haven't had a stranger here since the rains created the swamp several years ago.
Well, more people should try doing a really weird dance and then just winding up in a cave. Past the swamp. Anyway, have you heard of the hero of the north, the Prince of Shapir? Most honorable paladin that ever lived?
You've obviously done quite a lot for one person. It will be interesting to see what you do around here.
I'm gonna do all kinds of cool stuff. But here, let me come closer. What's your name, sir?
I am Boris Stovich.
It's funny, I was going to ask you if you know any people named Boris. So, Mr. Stovich, you're the gatekeeper of this castle?
This is the Castle of the Boyars, the title of the rulers of Mordavia. It once belonged to the Borgov family for generations, but the last Borgov has been dead for many, many years.
Exactly how dead, though? Anyway, yeah, Mordavia. Seems like a real mixed bag.
Mordavia is the name of this valley and of the town. Even the inn is called the Hotel Mordavia. The name means Dark Valley.
Sounds scary. Also, I just noticed my square turned red. I'm dropping frames. Turned green again. I'm happy again. My heart feels good. So yeah, these Borgovs. They're all dead from what I hear.
The heads of the Borgov family were the boyars of Mordavia for ages. The last Borgov disappeared at the time of darkness.
Oh, yeah.
No one knows what became of him.
The time of darkness, did you say?
It is bad luck to even speak of the time of darkness.
You brought it
Mordavia
up.
was a safe and lovely land before that time. Much has changed since then, and for the worse.
Is the swamp connected to the time of darkness? Alright, anyway, so this last boyar, no one knows?
Boyars are rather like barons of
Oh, I'm
other
just asking what
lands.
the title.
They own the castle and protect everyone within their domain.
Well, geez. It's a real shame that they don't still live, because I am very well liked by most of the barons I've encountered. Baronets, but like the baron. Oh man, they don't call me the hero of the north for no reason. Although to you, I guess it's more like the hero of the west. Yeah, but yeah. So obviously we're still employing a gatekeeper. I'll try this. We'll see how Boris feels about me making a boyar pun.
I'm not certain who all lives in the castle. I so seldom see anyone from there. There's the master, of course.
Okay.
Then there's the strange foreigner.
Okay.
There's also the master's daughter, I believe, and some rather strange guards. Beyond that, I really can't say.
But you're the gatekeeper of the castle. I don't have the option of asking about that particular question that was raised, but okay. So the daughter. Are we sure that's the daughter of anyone who lives in this castle?
I haven't actually seen the daughter, but I know the master is quite proud of her.
Right. This master.
The master desires privacy, and I respect that wish. As I always say, the will of the master is the shall of the servant. I wrote that.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever... There's this... Are you familiar with the works of Kazuo Ishiguro, sir? Because He wrote a novel called The Remains of the Day, which touches on this whole philosophy of subordinating oneself to another person's life. Like, what if you find out that this master is bad? Will you feel like you wasted your time serving him? Anyway, you said there's a foreigner. Now, generally, myself, a traveler, often a foreigner, a stranger in a strange land. I'm pro-foreigner, but there are some people who I don't like who come from other places.
He is an unpleasant sort, with a short beard and moustache, and a funny hat. He is rude when giving orders, and he has the habit of staring at a person and licking his lips. Most unsavory.
Does he smell like the rot of the grave?
I have only caught glimpses of them occasionally, but I don't think they are quite human. No matter. If a man does a good job, then whether he is a man does not matter.
Very clever, sir. But, I don't know. Personally, I would have a lot more questions. I'm sorry, Boris, have you fallen asleep? Boris?
I am the gatekeeper of Borgov Castle. Is it not true that he who guards the gates is the keystone speaker?
I guess. I'll remember that in case it's a clue or something. I don't know, though. Sure, you're the keystone speaker, Boris. Fine gate you've got here.
This is the gate to Borgov Castle. You can see it in the distance behind here. I am here to make certain that only welcome guests may enter through here in the daytime.
Is just anything
At
goes?
night, this gate is guarded by huge necrotors
Okay, no,
who
quite the
make
opposite.
certain no one tries to enter without permission.
Necrotors. Not looking forward to meeting the Necrotors. I don't know, there's something ominous about that name. Anyway, the town seems okay. You have any thoughts about that?
The town of Mordavia is to the east of here. Turn to the east as you leave and continue until your way is blocked by rocks. Then turn north and you will find the gates of the town.
Neat. Alright, well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Boris.
Farewell, and may you find whatever you seek.
Being sarcastic, or is that a famous quotation from Mordavian literature?
Goodbye, young man. May the fireplace be warm and the drink cold at your journey's end.
What if I order a warm drink? Oh, got a cat scratching at the door here. Oh, for a very good reason. How about we go give these cats some supper, and I'll be right back. Hang tight, gang. Be right back with you. Okay, back at it. We had a real situation. The vet messed up, gave us the wrong food. Gave us the pate version rather than the savory selects version. This is not a problem for Astra. There's a pretty strong sense that whatever I'm putting on a plate in front of her is probably food, so she'll dive in. Abra, much more skeptical. So she was kind of sniffing at it. She's like, I don't know what the fuck this is. It's not food. I don't know what it is. You'd think the fact that her sister is right here just gobbling it up might be a hint. No, she is. So I tried the trick of, put a dry food in there. Because sometimes Abra doesn't even want to eat her regular wet food. But you put a dry food in. I've mentioned this a few times, but it's very funny because you'd think the trick is she goes to get the dry food and gets a little taste of the regular food, and then it's like, oh, or the wet food, and it's like, oh, it's food. No, what happens is you put the dry food in the wet food, and she's like, well, this is an intriguing dish, and then she just starts eating the wet food. So I tried that, and just before I came back up, she actually picked the dry food out and tossed it aside, and then went to eat the dry food. And the vet's not open till tomorrow, so I don't know. Hopefully she'll eat enough of it to not be hungry. Very frustrating. This food is so expensive, and I get the same thing every time. Ah, well. What's she gonna do? Imagine if it's yeah. Did the music disappear? Is the sound gone? We'll find out. Yeah, I think I lost all sound. Well. Save it and restore it. That's the hope. And it's only one day. The vet can be kind of, they're a little scattered, but they're not, cruel. And so we're just like, hey, you gave us the wrong stuff. We'll swap it in. It'll be fine. But just got to get her to eat enough tonight. I'm always worried just because she's in diabetic remission. So I don't want even the slightest nudge messing with her eating habits and stuff. What's going on?
You're in the northwest
okay,
corner
never
of
mind.
the forest. To the north you can see the castle gate and the end of the road. While the road is now badly overgrown, you can tell that it once led to the east as well.
Oops, I recorded this one wrong. It's a northwest south forest. Okay. Well, I think with the remains of the day, game day, I might as well. I'm pretty sure I came this way to get to Mordavia in the first place. But I'll just confirm that. Do we have two northeast souths? Not even quite. Okay, hold on. Northeast south forest, and then northeast forest. And so this should actually wrap around quite nicely, and all of this little edge of the forest mapped. One moment. Oh, no, not at all. Wait, yes, one moment, sorry. Here we go. Four-way forest. And then I bet it's another four-way forest up here. No, actually, I bet it's a northwest and south forest. Let me just confirm that. I can go over this way, right? Yep. Uh-oh. Danger. I hope it's just a bunny. No, of course. It had to be a wyvern. A wyvern. Wait, no. Uh-oh. We're in it to win it now. Escape. Run, hero. not trying to lead the wyvern into the town. Okay. Do I have time to go out and just check? No, better. Oh wait, no. Because I mapped it. I'm golden. It was exactly what I'd hoped it would be. Northwest south. Okay. Okay. I found the western bounds of the map, I believe. For now, I'm going to delete 3 columns from this spreadsheet. I'll add them back in later if it turns out it was important. But I've got some bounds. Take out the top 2 rows even. Nice. Starting to look map-like. It's coming together. Okay. Gonna head to the inn. Oh. Hold on. Maybe I should tag up. Hey, there's a new person.
Have a seat. Wait, no, better leave the seats here. But why don't you sit down on one? This show can't get on the road until you get off your load. So sit a while and enjoy yourself. Or maybe just sit.
Hoo boy. Well, I'm gonna do my best to enjoy myself.
Hey, I've been looking high and low for you.
For me?
And I obviously wasn't looking low enough. You
Excuse
trying
me.
to upstage me or something? Show business is tough enough without competition from you. One day they're putting your footprints in cement, and the next day you're mixing it. So sit down, relax, and catch the show before it gets away.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
No, don't sit there. You'll never know when an elephant will wander in.
Where do I sit? Can I sit here? Great.
Good evening, ladies and germs. A funny thing happened on the way to Mordavia. I got here. I walked up to the innkeeper here and says to the guy, "You know how lucky you are to have such a funny guy as myself staying here?" The innkeeper says, "No, but if you hum a few bars, I can fake it." You may as well laugh now. This act doesn't get any funnier. I sit down here for a meal and order some soup. When the waiter brings it in, I says, "Waiter, there's a fly in my soup." The waiter says, "Of course, that's the soup du jour." Am I going deaf in here? Or how can so many people sleep with all these lights on? Seriously, folks, I went to the doctor just the other day and he said he had some good news and some bad news. What's the good news, I asked.
Lay it on me.
You only have 3 months to live, said the doc. That's terrible. What's the bad news? I said. The doc replied, "I'm getting married." I know I had an audience when I came in here. Anyhow, show me a guy with 1,000,000 kopecks, and I'll show you a guy who's rich. Hey, you only had to listen to this material. I'm the one who had to stand here and take it. Anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been a swell bunch of seats.
Phew. The gnome has stopped speaking. Maybe he's finished telling his joke. You think about applauding, but you're not quite sure if you heard the punchline yet.
What did you think of my performance? Was I hilarious or what? Is this an inn or a cemetery? I've had livelier times at funerals. Some help you were. Couldn't you at least have smiled a little louder?
Hey, listen, pal.
It's nights like these that
I had a
make
long
me feel
day.
like an inept idiot and a lousy laughingstock. I'd make more money digging graves.
I've been
But
up
what?
48
Get
hours.
out
I
of
spent the
show
night in
business.
Castle Borgov. Alright. Well, Mr. Gnome. Hello.
Thank you, thank you. I always like to meet a receptive audience. It's always good to see you. It means you're not behind my back.
Nah. No, seriously. Like, I was thinking just like, did this character come up late in the development of the game? Because you're just, this is also dark and serious. I need a character who I can no, maybe she conceived him at the start as a release valve. Whenever she was trying to write something serious in another part, and the silly crap started creeping in, it's like, okay, I'll go work on that routine, that nightclub routine. So check it out. I don't know, maybe in your travels you've heard of the hero of the north, the Prince of Shapir?
Pleased to meet you. I could tell by your outfit that you were no ordinary rube.
Oh, you should have
Punny
seen me
Bones,
back when I
and
had purple
jokes are
pants.
fair game. I'm a pro punster.
Punny Bones. So, where do you come from, Punny?
Be they ever so humble, there's nobody stays home. I've been on the road so long, I have flat tires on my feet. I go wherever I can tell a good joke, and many places where I can't.
Nah. So yeah, you're a gnome.
I'm staying at this inn for a while until I find something here. I got the last store down the hall. Visit me sometime. I'm sure we can have a few laughs together.
Yeah. So, been in show business long?
Hey, my last tour was a great success. I outran everyone.
Nah.
But there's no business like show business. With me, the show must go on and on and on.
I like you, Punny.
I got millions of them. Problem is, I can't remember most of them, and the ones I do remember should have been buried long ago. I used to be worth my wit in gold, but oh, it's a long story. Ask me about it some other time.
Have you ever been to Shapir? Because my pal, Keep On, I think he'd like you. Well, hold on. Mr. Innkeeper? You don't strike me as the kind of guy who would want to bring this act in.
He too is a stranger to Mordavia.
Hey, what am I, shredded wheat? If you're talking behind my back, at least have the courtesy to do it face to face.
We are face to face.
I try to keep people entertained here.
So how come you weren't up on the stage instead of me?
Punny's got a point.
I have not listened to such nonsense in all my life.
You call this a life?
Oh, you want to talk about calling this a life? Wait till you hear about this fan's daughter. Okay, well, jeez. It's been something, Punny Bones.
Leaving so soon? Good night, and thanks for all the fish.
I don't remember what the original line there, "So long and thanks for all the fish," is from. Is it a Monty Python thing? I don't know. I know there's a NoFX album called "So Long and Thanks for All the Shoes." There was a period in their career where their fans would throw shoes at them while they were playing. And so one day they took all the shoes and just left. Douglas Adams, there we go. Not exactly Monty Python, but funny British guy in 1970s. Not exactly not Monty Python.
Straighten out your jacket and retie your boots.
There we go, alright.
Appearances count.
Well, has night fallen? Sort of. I was just hoping I could order a meal. But it looks like no. Okay, well. Great time, folks. Wait, hold on. What do these fellas think of the act? What do you think of this gnome?
Well, you know I'm not a census taker over here, but there are no other gnomes in Mordavia.
No wonder.
Yeah, when they show up, there goes the neighborhood. We have no need for gnomes here.
You guys are so narrow-minded you could all look through a keyhole with both eyes. What gnome would want to work here? You guys have all the sense of humor of a wyvern with a hangover.
At the risk of waxing poetic, what need have we of fools?
Hey, you got a point. There are enough fools in here already to reach critical mass. If it pays to be ignorant, why are you guys so broke?
Well, anyway. How are the peasants doing?
Somebody just shoot me.
And just when I was going to invite you to my party. There's always room for one bore.
Oh, I'll tell you, he's rough, you know? Anyone could tell better jokes than that gnome did. Where's Shaky Green when you need him?
Look, I'd argue with you, but I never...
I like your cadence. I think maybe you could tell better jokes.
Man.
The guy's dying up there. I didn't get anything.
Hey, how could you? If ignorance is really bliss, you're the world's happiest guy.
Oh, so that's quite a performance.
fellas, is it just me, or is Shecky's performance here lacking a certain sense of humor?
Are you kidding? He was rough. Get a day job.
You're right, and he wasn't very funny either.
What do you mean I wasn't funny? You guys wouldn't know a punchline if it hit you in the face.
Alright, gentlemen, well. I can't greet or say farewell to you, folks. Is it nighttime yet? We're getting there. Am I allowed
Never
to...
seen so many locks and bars on a door.
Oh, good.
Can't
Okay.
find any way to open it.
It is
It
nighttime.
is very dangerous in Mordavia.
What? No, I didn't want to
We
go...
always keep things locked up when it gets dark. I will let you out for now.
Please don't. Please
If you
don't.
wish to return later this evening, just knock on the door. If you do not make it back by the closing of the inn, may you rest in peace.
Hey now, you've already seen that I can be out for at least one full night. And make it back just fine. Well,
You hear movement on the other side of the door. After a few minutes, you hear someone removing the bar and unlocking the bolts on the other side of the door.
what if I was being chased by a werewolf? Minutes would just ruin it for me. I'd be dead. Alright. Wait, hold on. Well, I've already gone to my room here,
You unlock the door to your room and go in.
but I should have gone and see if I can, you know, can have a more serious conversation with Punny in his quarters. I should check before I go to sleep.
A voice from behind the door says, "Oops, sorry. Seems I forgot about my burglar alarm. Hope it wasn't too shocking for you."
Ha!
Hello,
bring your own
how are you?
rug?
Come in and have a sit, why don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
As you sit down, a rude noise comes from the chair seat.
Okay, yeah.
Gets you every time. A million laughs. How are you? Good to see you. Nice see you to drop in. Speaking of dropping in, did you hear the one about the bad waiter? Seems like he was always dropping in. Dropping in. Get it? Didn't think so. No one got a sense of humor anymore. Not even me.
Nah. My friend. My goodness. So. Hello, Punny.
Hey, welcome into the inn. Pleased to meet you. Sit down, have a seat. Oh, we did that already, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We met. I'm just being polite and saying hello. Anyway, anything more serious we can talk about here? Let's talk about the nature of humor.
I ain't got no sense of humor. I can't get no sense of humor. And I try, don't know why, gotta fly, say goodbye. What's the matter? You a music critic, so I can't tell a joke? Sue me. I'm comedically challenged. A phoebe of a fool. A dweeb dunce. As a matter of fact, I've been cursed. I'm vexed with a hex, so to speak.
Do you have an actual curse? Because I am a hero. I could maybe help with a curse.
Pathetic,
I
ain't
don't know
it?
if I can make you
I
funny.
can't tell a joke if it kicked me in the teeth. Ever since I got Baba Yaga mad at me, I got the bad joke blues.
Oh, this Baba Yaga. Alright. So yes, okay, my supposition from earlier seems possibly likely to come true. Baba Yaga, back on the scene. If this is true, that Punny is suffering from a curse that makes him not funny, Lorianne has put an enormous amount of pressure on herself as a writer for his first lines of dialogue after the curse is lifted.
She has no sense of humor whatsoever. Let me tell you, I was just telling a joke about how some hero got Baba Baby hopping mad and fit to be towed. How was I to know she was in the audience at the time? Anyhow, Baba Yaga stands up, says some bad poetry, and the next thing I know is my jokes are jumbled and my puns are pathetic. So here I am in Nowhere Land trying to locate Baba Yaga so as I can get the curse removed and my humor returned.
Did you know? Did you realize that I am the one you were telling a joke about there who turned Baba Yaga into a toad? So yeah, I never met a gnome before.
Putin ask me again, I'll tell you my name. Seriously, folks, the name is Bones. Punny Bones. I'm just a jester. Professionally speaking, of course.
So you've never thought of giving up being a jester even with the not able to be funny curse?
Hey, I'm a professional fool, so don't try this at home, kid. Unfortunately, more people laugh at me than at my jokes lately. It's hard to be hilarious when your sense of humor is defunct.
I mean, if they're laughing at you, you're getting laughs.
Punny, you should ask about that. Making jokes is in my bones, make no bones about it. But my puns have been sort of boneheaded lately.
Yeah, that wasn't a great one. You like it here in Mordavia?
This place is really dead, you know? I've had a livelier audience in a graveyard. What do they know about humor? They think a guy falling into a mud puddle is a major joke, like lots of yucks, huh? Now, a man being tripped into a mud puddle,
Being called
that's
to, excuse me.
comedy.
Brief intermission. I'll be right back with you, folks. Okay, 20 minutes till supper time. Have you heard any rumors? I've heard... nobody wants to hear, but the innkeeper's daughter has been vampirized.
What do I hear? Let me see. Well, the talk of the town is you.
No
one knows how you got here or what you're doing, and they're still all a bit leery of strangers. You should see some of the looks they give me. You'd think they never saw a gnome before. Or you, for that matter.
They'd never seen gnome or me before. It's true. It's fair. Also, you're dressed absurdly. I don't know if you realize this. How am I doing puzzle points wise? This was not, like... I've accomplished a whole lot. Just not it certainly didn't feel like a wheel-spinning adventure so far today, but... Alright, well... You got a real situation with this curse. Let's see what I can do.
Nice to see a friendly face around here. Catch you later, dud.
Do you mean dude?
So I ask you, what do you call a dinosaur
Still
crashing
running.
into a wall? Late for supper, of course. See you later, crocodile.
What the hell? What's happened to the speed here? I guess it got turned up to full on its own. This also feels a little, it's still a little fast. Let's try this. Okay, at any rate, okay. I don't know if I said this when I came back from intermission. 20 minutes till supper time. So it's probably not a
Lock the door to
whole
your
lot
room,
more than I
boy.
can do today, but who knows? Let's sleep. Wake up tomorrow. See if there's a scripted event at the start of day. Oh wow, yeah, you've been plotting that a while. Sleep till morning, baby.
You awaken as the sun begins to rise.
Ah, beautiful day in Mordavia. Here we are. What day is it now? Day 4. Just call it save day 4 for now. I guess what I'll do with my remaining time here, unless, again, there's a scripted event at the start of day 4.
Ah, so you are back.
Well, I slept here because it's an inn, right? Do I have anything new I can ask him about? I do not. Goodbye.
The innkeeper nods at you.
I'll accept it. Friendly nod.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
It's only been 3 days, sir. Come on. But alright. Do we have anything new to say?
What is it you want?
I don't know. Yeah. That can be terribly frustrating. These games have been very good for that. The one time I thought I was soft lock was in the original. In the remake, because I played the VGA remake first. But I missed the Thieves meeting, which was actually a one-time... Like, I did miss it. But when I read later, it just turned out you didn't need to find them in the first place. You could still finish the game.
Try not to make a nuisance of yourself.
Did you have a particularly bad soft-locking experience in this Robin Hood adventure? Conquest of the Longbow. It's an interesting name. Okay, well, I guess I'll keep looking to the east for a few minutes here. So, from here I gotta go south to go east. And I guess I'll go south twice. So I'm currently here. I should be in a 4-way forest. Hey. And then I'll go east. I should be in another 4-way forest. And now I'm at the bounds of what I've mapped. So I'm just going to go east and see what I find. To the east. Well, I'm going to go that far east. Is this? I don't think I've ever played or even heard of Conquest of the Longbow. I mean, maybe I have heard of it and I'm just misremembering. But I don't know. Okay, what's south from here? Is it a notable game? Is it something I should intend to... Okay. I'm typing all 4 directions instead of my usual 4-way forest. Okay. So, if my mapping is correct. You know, I'm not nearly as familiar outside of the Roberta Williams done games and then anything that has quest in it. I don't know how familiar I am overall with the Sierra Ouvre. But that one's by Christy Marks. Interesting. I am in the fullness of time, I'm going to be getting more acquainted with more Sierra. Probably starting with the obvious, because I'm going to play those King's Quest.
There's something strange about this bush. Maybe it's the eyes. Oh, forget it. It's probably just an ordinary, everyday bush with blood-red berries and tentacle-like branches.
Huh. second here. Gem. Created by Christy Marks, who is also, a game designer. Conquest of Camelot, Conquest of the Longbow, some other games. Interesting. That's quite a career. Okay, so this is North and East Forest with bush with eyes. I probably should not approach the bush, but could I greet it? No. Talk to it?
You'll have to get a little closer. The bush seems to be hard of hearing.
Well, can hold no more save games already. Oh, okay, fair enough, because I did a lot of them. I'm not like deeply familiar with. That's one of those areas. My Arthurian knowledge, I should probably actually expand a little, but okay. I mean, I'll do this as long as civilization persists. So we'll get there as long as civilization doesn't collapse. So maybe we're gonna get there. Okay. Bushwhacking. Although it seems quite possible the bush will be whacking me. Let's find it.
You sense no magic in this area.
Okay. Hey, does this bush like bones?
Nothing happens.
No. Okay. Well, let's find out. Does the bush just kill me if I come close?
That hurt. That really hurt. Think of being stung by a 10-foot-long wasp. You think that would be a relief in comparison. That hurt.
Okay.
You think that...
Okay. I hate this bush.
The spell doesn't seem to have any lasting effect on the bush.
Okay. What if I used lightning instead?
The spell doesn't seem to have any lasting effect on the bush.
Okay. What if I snatched something away from the bush?
You try to fetch some berries from the bush, but they seem firmly attached to branches.
It's not really berries. It's not really a bush, obviously. It's, in fact, got squid legs, now that I think about it. Tentacles, as they're called. Perhaps only 6 of them? Hold on. Let me remind myself. The different... Okay. No obvious textual hints. Alright. Well, we found a freaky bush. Let's keep going east in the minutes that I have left today. Is this a viable southern path? Is this the four-way forest? It sure was. Danger. Ah, it's just a bunny. Is this a dead end? Okay, well, hold on. We got a four-way forest. And now here, do we have a no-way forest?
You are at the far southern edge of the forest. There is a strange-looking wooden house on a tall cliff to the east, but you don't see any way to get there from here.
Okay. Dead end. View of house to east. Noted. Okay. I want to go a little more easterly, and then I got to stop. Score some points if Danielle doesn't have to come to me again. Be like, I fucking told you the supper's going to be ready.
You think you're in the southern or southeastern part of the forest. You can just make out a strange-looking wooden house on a tall cliff to the southeast.
Okay, here we have a west-north. Okay. 2 more screens. And then I'll accept that I've run out of time. For now.
You are in the forest somewhere southeast of the town. To the north, you can see a beautiful garden and a gently flowing stream.
Well, that sounds like our last screen of the day.
You have come to a beautiful garden deep within the forest. A stream flows gently in a loop around the central island. Feelings of peace and harmony permeate the area. It's an ornate oriental lantern. It's an ornate oriental lantern. The fruit tree is laden with luscious-looking fruits of many kinds. It must be one of the rare mixed fruit trees.
Yeah, those are definitely rare.
Lovely flowers bloom throughout the garden.
Ooh, an anthill.
A pile of soil has been removed from the hole in the ground. It looks like high-quality topsoil.
Okay. We gotta stick our hand in the hole.
It doesn't budge.
Budge?
It doesn't.
What are you talking about? Okay. Can I look in the hole?
Someone has dug a large hole there, perhaps removing a bush or a small tree.
Oh, really? Can we end on a high note? Solving the mystery of the bonsai tree?
You plant the bonsai in the hole and scrape some of the rich soil around it. In moments, the bush begins to grow and blossom before your eyes.
Awesome. Whoa, it's really blossoming.
The bonsai bush is thriving in the rich soil.
Very good. Six puzzle points for that. So that was significant. Seems possible that it's the kind of thing where the significance would become clear later. But I think that's perfect spot. Perfect spot to stop. So let's shut it down. Oh man, this is great. This game is great so far. Not that I was expecting anything less. But yeah. It's great, and also it feels like it's going very well for me, the hero. Like I'm doing things, I'm accomplishing stuff, pushing that ball forward, as opposed to bumbling foolishly because I haven't yet realized that they're never going to catch a leopard person until I'm better at spear throwing, obviously. Quest for Glory 3 Wages of War, terrific game, I loved it, but that was a little annoying. Okay, so, hey, awesome, sweet. What else happens around here, around these parts at 58 Dream Street? On Tuesday, my buddy Greg will come over. We'll be back at it with Battletoads in Battle Maniacs, which is not really hitting the highs of Battletoads and Double Dragon, but it's not hitting the lows of the original Battletoads yet. Let's see what it has in store. I don't know. We'll find out. We might need a game genie, but I'll get that all set up. Then, on Friday, we have Friday Night Frosthaven back on Fridays, unless Rich becomes a twofold father. Unexpectedly, not unexpectedly, but not exactly what expected. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, but we'll be back playing Friday Night Frosthaven, hopefully, knock on wood. Then, if I can, I'll squeeze in an impromptu Lolo, but it's been tough. I made my May June busier than it needed to be by being overly ambitious about curriculum development for the fall. It's too late now. I've started down that road. But if I can find the time, I'll do it, because I do love Lolo 3. Then, next weekend, Saturday, more Pool of Radiance. I need to go back and rob that Paladin's grave, and I need to go back to that pyramid and search it a bit more thoroughly, because there's a really hard 3-fight sequence to stop the kobolds from joining forces with Ataraxia. So I need to gain some levels. So I ought to have... It occurred to me, I gotta rob that grave. Not because I like grave robbing, but because there's no punishment for it in this game. And also, treasure equals experience. And also, for the same reason, I should have searched the pyramid more thoroughly. And also, I realized that in the wizard's lair, where I found the secret teleporter into his treasure rooms, and then I just left. But there was another little door. And I didn't find a journal entry anywhere. So what if there was some lore, some more of the story? I'll have to go check that. And then we'll be back here on Sunday. Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness. There might be some schedule, some timing changes on the weekend, which I will announce on the Discord, and also change on the schedule here, because we do have a busy weekend with some friends getting married soon, so there's some bachelorette type activities we got to engage in. Very chaste ones, like golfing and stuff, just to be clear. And then, but we'll be back, and lots of exciting stuff going on, and I'm very excited, as I often am. I'm an excitable guy. Cool. Alright. Hey, if you stuck around to the end, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you came and you left, you can't hear my voice, but I'm glad you stopped by anyway. So thanks for stopping by. And until the next time that we wander into the same 4-way stretch of forest together, take care of yourselves and be kind to everyone.